Good morning, Romel Santiago here once again. So, today we're going to be talking about attraction to therapy. I know it's kind of a weird thing. I wrote this on my whiteboard and I was like, what am I supposed to be talking about in terms of this particular topic? Because it was an ADD moment. And it was probably between clients, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. So, it took me pretty much all day to figure it out. Folks oftentimes find themselves attracted to therapy for lots of different reasons. Well, what is your reason for coming into therapy? What's your reason for believing in therapy? In terms of therapy, what are some of the things that you actually think therapy is? I've got lots of clients that think therapy's gonna fix me, therapy's gonna heal me, therapy's gonna do this. Like, I have some fucking magic wand and I just wave it, and like every session I give you a little shot of clarity or a little shot of serenity or a little shot of something. Therapy doesn't work that way. Therapy is about you doing the work. Therapy is about me structuring our sessions in a way so that it is the most beneficial. And so you're not just going off on these tangents and talking for an hour. Therapy is about learning skills, about practicing skills, about implementing skills. So, why are we attracted to therapy? Lots of my clients say, oh, my friend should be in therapy, or my mom should be in therapy, or this person should be in therapy. Why the attraction to therapy? What's so great about therapy? Because, to be quite honest, as a therapy client, I've had lots of therapists that just fucking sucked. Lots of my clients have been through lots and lots of different therapists. And so, what is the attraction to therapy? Is it is it that I'm going to be fixed? I'm going to be healed. I'm going to be able to resolve what's going on. I'm going to learn about myself. This is where we have to really understand our reasons and rationale for coming into therapy. Because if it's I'm going to be fixed, or I'm going to be cured, or I'm going to be fill in the blank, that's a mentality that there's something wrong with you. But what if there's nothing wrong with you? Having a diagnosis doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. Having a diagnosis means you just exhibit these particular symptoms. You exhibit anxiety and fear, and you're supposed to. You're a fucking human being. But what is it that you think us therapists are capable of doing? Because at the end of the day, therapy is not about fixing somebody, it's about helping them to uncover and identify different parts of themselves and gain a better understanding of who they are as a person. And those components of themselves that we might want to learn how to turn the volume down in some areas and turn the volume up in others. If our anxiety is out of control, we might want to learn how to turn the volume down on our anxiety and turn the volume up on, I don't know, hope or happiness or contentment or gratitude. But our attraction to therapy, that's something that I'm still very baffled on. Because lots of people make the suggestion that folks should go to therapy. Because what? And the joke is, oh, you're crazy. You should go to therapy. Right? That's more of an insult than it is anything else. This idea that you should go to therapy because there's something wrong with you is the most inaccurate statement that I've ever heard. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing broke. There's nothing missing. There's just a lot of shit that's covering all the amazing components of who you are as a person. And so, most folks know that I love diving. And so, from diving, I discovered running. And I'm still smoking, so that's whatever. But when I'm training at this moment, in 2024, I'm training for a half marathon. And then in September of 2024, I'll be doing the Medellin marathon, full marathon. So my running is like 2 to 3 hours. And so what am I gonna do? Listen to Carol G and Anita Baker for 3 hours? No. So I started listening to audible books, audiobooks. Um, and so somebody about 6 years ago recommended this book called If the Buddha Dated. Now I'm slow as shit to actually take suggestions. So 6 years later, I actually listened to the book If the Buddha Dated. And I will say that this is one of the books that I have been recommending to a lot of my clients, because it is an amazing book, and it aligns with my idea of therapy. We're all whole people. There's just a lot of shit that covers us up. And so by being able to step back and begin learning more about ourselves, we're able to show up more authentically in the world around us. So that's something that I would highly recommend, for folks, is to, if you haven't heard or read the book If the Buddha Dated, it's something that I highly, highly, highly recommend. I have no stock in Audible, and I do not have any stock in this particular book. I don't get any kickbacks. I don't get nothing for it. But it is an amazing book, um, that helps us on the journey of self discovery. And it's a book that complements the work that can be done in therapy. Not every therapist works from the same lens, but it does complement the work. There is an emphasis on meditation, but I love it because it talks about various different types of meditation, um, not just sitting, um, in a room without any noise and keep your eyes closed, sitting still. No, there's a lot of breathing meditations. There's a lot of talk on how to just show up more authentically. Um, but in order to do that, we have to begin uncovering. So a big part of therapy is doing some of that work, and learning some of those skills and tools, so that when we begin uncovering and that discomfort begins sitting in, what can we do with that? And meditation is another way that we can navigate through that discomfort. It's really about leaning into it and not avoiding it. Um, Going back to some of the earlier videos, one of the earliest videos is the feelings thermometer. Again, it's not about avoiding these particular feelings, it's about these particular emotions, their intensity is increasing. And in order to navigate through this, I need to decrease the intensity of this emotion so I can continue to sit. Well, meditation, or If the Buddha Dated, just talks about how to begin sitting. Um, but that's in some of the later chapters. It is an amazing book. It was a 2 hour listen. Um, so even if you just have a couple of minutes here and there in the morning, it's not necessarily about reading this particular book, but it is about getting into the habit of, utilizing and fine tuning these particular skills, so that again you can show up as the most authentic person, not continue to be limited by all of the shit that has happened, be, leading to this idea that you are broken. You are never ever going to be broken. You are never ever going to be wrong. You are never ever going to be inadequate. All you are is a whole person who has all of this shit piled on top of them. And we want to just get to a place where we can uncover and release some of that shit, so that you can, again, navigate through to your most authentic self. So I hope you got a lot out of this particular video. Let me know some of your thoughts. And with that being said, we do have to pause. But I hope you all have a wonderful, amazing rest of this beautiful day. And I will see you soon.